Fairy Tail Chapter 543 review. So this chapter of Fairy Tail, it wasn't like it was bad. I mean, I actually thought it was a pretty decent chapter. It was, it was good, and I like the way they're handling Acnologia. But it also, at the same time, kind of pissed me off when I was reading this chapter. The thing, it's because they try to show a little bit of backstory for Acnologia, and we find out why he wants to kill dragons so badly and why he doesn't want any of the dragons to live, and he wants to eradicate them all. So we continue with the plan with the ship being destroyed, and we're all like, oh, what the hell's gonna happen? And Gray, he jumps in immediately, like, I'm gonna have to create a ship. And I'm surprised that Acnologia didn't notice the ship and try to attack it. And so as they're building it, and they're all waiting for Lucy to come, because she I guess figured out how to use Fairy Sphere. And I really liked how she was kind of backtracking to the days of when she first met Natsu, because that's where the city is at in Hargion. That's where she first met Natsu, and then she says, this is where I'm going to meet Natsu again. And just a good look back at how Fairy Tail started. And you know that it's close to the end, and Fairy Tail's close to getting to the finale. So they create an ice ship, and somehow Urza's able to push down Acnologia with all of her swords and all of her might, and she's able to push down Acnologia's body, and he falls into the ship, and that's when he gets affected by the motion sickness. But at the same time, in the other side, you had Natsu fighting against Acnologia. So I guess good teamwork. Urza, I think that seemed a little bit. I thought that might have been a little out of her realm, but then again, she did destroy Meteor. Whatever, she's OP as hell. I'm just glad she didn't use magic, because magic would not have worked on Acnologia, because only physical attacks can work on him. So the action, is pretty decent, and the fighting on the other side, where Acnologia is fighting all the 7 dragons, they're getting their butts kicked. And here's what kind of upset me and kind of made me sad, is that Hiramashima finally shows some backstory or some insight to Acnologia's character in just a few couple panels, because Natsu tells them, it's funny, he calls himself the king of dragons. The real dragons are strong, they're powerful, they're noble, and they're kind. And that kind of throws Acnologia over the wall. He gets rage mode, man. He's like, those dragons, they destroyed my family, burned my town, and they killed even the children. How can those dragons ever be kind? And then you go into Natsu talking about, which actually is a clever way of looking at it, and he's like, yeah, they're dragons. There are many types of dragons. There are kind ones, there are bad ones, there are evil ones, there are weak dragons, there are strong dragons. They're just like humans. And every other human is not going to be perfect. And I thought, okay, that's a cool way of looking at it. But here's what upsets me, is that why didn't we get this in the past? Or why didn't we get this more in-depth, backstory of Acnologia? I really wanted to see a flashback of what happened. I wanted to see the action. I wanted to see what got him from being a warrior type soldier to being a dragon slayer, and what I wanted to see the process of how he became who he was. And we only get a few panels on that, and we see a kid version of him, and that kind of it's just so much wasted potential, and it kind of just does sadden me. At this point in Fairy Tail, you can't really get mad anymore. You just kind of get kind of sad, if you're a huge Fairy Tail fan, because you see the potential is there. Hiramashima could have done so much more with this material, and if you see a backstory in Acnologia more in depth on why he did what he had to do, and in my opinion, he could have been a much better character. And it just feels like it's just a huge waste. And it's okay, whatever. It's you look back at Fairy Tail and you realize it's just what could have been. So anyway, they continue to fight, and Natsu kind of talks to Acnologia, but I'm glad he doesn't try to talk no jutsu to him. He just gives him his reasoning, and then all of a sudden you see all the 7 Dragon Slayers giving him their powers to Natsu, and apparently Acnologia's attacks weren't working on Natsu for some reason, because he got this huge power for all the other Dragon Slayers, and he's getting ready to attack him. And on the other side, Lucy, who has been on point and doing her job, is about to create Fairy Sphere with the rest of the Fairy Tail mages to try and defeat Acnologia. And I'm thinking okay, so Natsu's getting the powers again. We've seen this happen a couple times when Loxus gave the power to Natsu, and I really hope he does not. It's probably gonna happen though. He's probably gonna defeat Acnologia here with all the power of the 7 Dragon Slayers. And if you look at it from a logical standpoint, even if you do combine the 7 Dragon Slayers, it probably shouldn't even be enough to defeat Acnologia. Even if he's in his human form, which it would surprise me if he does defeat Acnologia in his human form. But I'm not exactly sure what's stronger, the dragon form or the human form. I just wish that the fight would be a little longer. I mean, this fight with Acnologia seems kind of quick, and everything just seems kind of rushed. And because we're getting towards the end, but it's rushed, but it's like it's fun action. It's at least a little more clever how they're defeating Acnologia, which is using his weakness of the motion sickness. So let's see how that goes. And I think Fairy Tail's got like 3 more chapters left. Acnologia probably is going to be defeated in the next chapter, and the next chapter is called "You Are the King," I think, and it's probably going to be Acnologia acknowledging Natsu as a king, which I think is going to be extremely corny if he does say it. I mean, you should just let your own actions speak for yourself. You don't have to like say that you're the king. Just let it be known that you are just through your own actions. But that's probably what is going to happen. But let's see what else happened in this chapter. Pretty much that is it. Let's see how Fairy Tail ends, and I'm hoping for a good fight or something spectacular, kind of. Yeah. As far as chapter goes, I give it a 4 out of 5. Decent chapter. Just disappointed in what could have been with Acnologia. Everything was rushed. Hope you guys like the review. Fanchart out. Bye.